Hello there, sweet peas. Welcome back, or if you're new, hello. Welcome to my channel. I am RJ Crash, and I am here with a message from Aphrodite today. Now, I don't know what it is, but I just felt really drawn to, oh, interesting, a couple of specific decks, and we're looking for messages that our Aquarians need to know about love. What message do we have about love? Okay. Huh. All right. Let's see here. What messages do we have about love today? What advice do we need for the collective? What messages about love and what advice for the collective today? Okay. What messages about love and advice for the collective today? What messages about love and advice for the collective today? Okay. What messages and advice for the collective today? What advice for the collective today? Okay, so we have the Devil, the Fates, and the Sun from Tarot here. This is the deck of Aphrodite, and each one of these images actually comes from a painting that features Aphrodite herself. I found this to be a very, very interesting, very unique kind of deck, and I find it exceptionally interesting that every single card that came out was Major Arcana. So with the Devil here, it sounds like to me, looking at the overall picture here, that there is a temptation in your life that is making things a little difficult. You might be holding on to an idea or something that you may feel like it is your fate. But I have the feeling that this is actually preventing you from achieving whatever it is that you're looking for in love. And that may include love of yourself, because we have fulfillment here. And the card says, "My dear child, Venus stands for luxury and monetary gifts. This is a message that abundance and prosperity will come into your life soon. Be wise with it and don't forget to share a little." Now, when we have the Devil here, usually that's a card that references that somebody is dealing with, like I said, temptations. It's a card of Capricorn, which can be very hard-headed and stubborn. And believe me, I know, as a Capricorn myself, you can get very stuck in an idea of how something is supposed to be. You don't want it unless it's exactly this way. It has to show up exactly how you're picturing it. But that's the thing, is when you look at how things turn out in life, it's never exactly the way you expect. It's kind of interesting how, you know, if you don't leave wiggle room for the things that you're envisioning for yourself, then you don't always achieve the goal that you're aiming for. The thing that you want to have won't necessarily manifest in the way that you expect. And that's not always a bad thing, and not to say that you can never draw in exactly your manifestation, but very often I find we get this, when we get in the devil energy of being stuck in a particular view of it can only be this way, I want exactly this and nothing else. You have that, what's the word I'm looking for? That obsessive energy around the thing that you want, then it pushes it away. It doesn't show up in the way that you expect, or you don't receive it at all. So I feel like you're being urged to let fate take over and stop thinking about it so much so that you can have happiness. I'm really drawn to these sunflowers. I mean, I know the card is the sun, but like the thing about a sunflower is that it turns toward the light. It lets the sun guide its actions. It moves in a specific way, and it doesn't fight against its fate of following the sunlight. So, I feel like if you can just let go of this devil energy, you will find fulfillment. Because over here we have burning desire, flames of passion ignite, and we have bonding. As you get to know each other, you discover many things in common. So these cards here, it just talks to me of this devil energy. There's more desire than there is bonding going on. Like you're really heavily focused on it must be this. It can only be this. I need, this specific person. I need love to show up for me only in this way that I'm picturing it. But, part of the fun thing about just letting go and letting fate take over is sometimes you get rewarded in ways you wouldn't expect. And I think it'll help you a lot if you work on affirmations that help you let go of this obsessive energy. So loving words hold great power, and that's part of why I pulled these cards. I know this deck doesn't necessarily have anything in particular to do with Aphrodite herself, but it felt, it's not a love deck, but it felt like a action to help you love yourself more by giving you affirmations. So the first one we have here is imagine a cozy place where you feel safe. Imagine a cozy place where you feel safe. And I think if you can take that affirmation and really take that to heart, it will help you find that fulfillment. And then the second one is, I feel anxious, and that's okay. I feel anxious, and that's okay. So I think that's just trying to tell you here, it's understandable. It's human to have this devil energy. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're literally being, taunted by a devil. It just means that you have human feelings and desires, and part of understanding the journey of tarot and finding your way to the sun is accepting, understanding, and consciously working to move past energy like this. When you can get out of that bullheaded need to be right and to only have things go a certain way, I think the affirmations will help a lot with that. Because believe me, I understand just how hard it is when you have specific ideas of how something is supposed to be, what it's supposed to look like, and how things are supposed to go. And then when it doesn't go that way, it can be extraordinarily difficult. I understand how hurtful and hard that can be. But let me tell you, when you actually find that peace within yourself and that partner who loves you unconditionally, there is nothing more beautiful than that. There truly isn't. Okay, so before I end the reading, I wanted to also share I have the complete book of incense, oils, and brews, and I was talking to my friend Azure about this last night. We were talking about oils, and I was just paging through this, and I found it very funny that one of the oils that they recommend here is called Aphrodite oil, and that includes 5 drops of cypress, 2 drops of cinnamon, that's essential oils, and a small piece of dried orris root. Add the true essential oils and the orris root to an olive oil base and anoint your body to bring a love into your life. So it would probably be very helpful for you to consider doing that on top of these affirmations, or even as a ritual to get yourself into the right headspace before you do these affirmations. Imagine a cozy place where you feel safe. I feel anxious, and that's okay. It is okay to not feel okay. If nobody's told you that lately, I just want to let you know it is okay. We are human, having a human experience, and even though we have access to magic, to guides, and to greater powers, it is okay to occasionally need some help and to call on those guides for that help. It is okay to take care of yourself. And affirmations are part of the process of doing that. All right, that's what I have for you, my lovelies. I really hope that this helped. And, if you agree, if you got something out of this, please leave a like, comment, share it with somebody who you think could use it, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.